right?
No, so we are now live.
All right.
Okay, all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stand for the prayer. Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision, neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of the authority, and we may use it to our directives for the common good. For thy honor and glory, amen.
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 Okay, call to order. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Falkenberg,
Here.
Mr. Cronin,
Here.
Mrs. Mara,
Here.
Dr. Sharma,
Here.
Ms. Sharma. You have yourself muted, but I heard you in the other room, so I know you said here. Ms. Saba.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Well, a couple things. First, Sherry and I both attended the Ohio Sunshine Law course, and we both passed. So congratulations, Sherry. So we have any other new council members will have to do it within the 4 years, though. So I think Kim, though, I think you only have 2 years to do it in. So the other thing is I want to put a big thank you to Ron Mona and also Maureen Minera and Jane Chaveco. They're taking care of the flowers and the mulch. They're taking care of it on the entrance and the flower beds toward the entrance in the front of the village hall. So I want a big thank you to those two. They're also taking care of buying the flowers and everything. So want to also thank our servicemen, Brent and Ken. They're doing a great job out there. They had to go down and clean the culvert, the outfall by the beach a couple of times, about 3 times actually after the storm. It got buried pretty good. Also just cleaning up things around, trying to keep up with the storm damage, opening up catch basins, making sure they're open. We had quite a bit of flooding on the last storm, a lot of complaints. Again, as everyone knows, our sewers are way, way undersized. I spoke with our engineer the other day. The problem is we're trying to get some money, but they put a hold on all the OPEC or OPWC funding, that is. So there's a hold on that grant money. But we are trying to replace some of the broken grates and that are around the village going into the catch basin. So we're working on that. We've got some money in the budget for that at least. And then again, there were some basement flooding problems. I addressed those. I'm trying to recommend the people to disconnect their downspouts going into the sewers because our sewers are undersized, and I want to tell them to basically just put splash blocks in. So, but as people, if they need help on that, I'm always available. They can always call me on that. There's a few other things I can cover later, but let's get on to the reading of the meeting minutes. Do we have anyone to make a motion for the meeting minutes?
I make a motion.
I second.
Thank you.
Sorry, who seconded?
Sherry.
Perfect, thank you. Alrighty, Ms. Falkenberg. Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma, Ms. Saba.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we move on to the legislation. Our first ordinance will be ordinance number 2020. It'll be the third reading.
02.
It'll be 2020-02. It'll be the third reading. This is an ordinance subject to an election pursuant to ORC 718.04 to amend section 880.01 B, section 880.03, and any other related sections of the Code of Ordinances of the Village of Timberlake in order to increase the income tax rate from 1% to 2% beginning January 1st, 2021, and continuing thereafter for the purpose of providing general fund, police, fire, and emergency medical services and declare an emergency. Okay, do I have a motion on that?
I make a motion.
I second the motion.
Sorry, did Mrs. Mara make the motion? It's hard to know who it is because the camera doesn't pick up on the voice.
Sherry made the motion and Mrs. Mara seconded.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Now, before you do roll call, this is exactly what everybody in council wants it to read, correct? Because this is going tomorrow to the Board of Elections once you vote.
Yes, I read it. I'm okay with it.
On there.
Yes.
I did too.
Okay,
Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mr. Cronin?
Aye.
Mrs. Mara?
Aye.
Dr. Sharma?
I,
Ms. Sharma? Honey, I hear you saying I in the other room, but your voice isn't working on the audio. Ms. Saba?
Aye.
okay. This is also a third reading, resolution number 2020-02.
Mhm.
And this is a resolution declaring the necessity of an election on the question of approving the passage of ordinance and to amend section 880.01B, section 880.03, and any other related sections of the Code of Ordinances of the Village of Timberlake in order to increase the income tax rate from 1% to 2% beginning January 1st, 2021, and continuing thereafter for the purpose of providing general fund, police, fire, and emergency medical services and declaring an emergency. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to accept it.
I second.
Okay. Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mr. Cronin?
Aye.
Mrs. Mara?
Aye.
Dr. Sharma?
I,
Ms. Sharma? Mrs. Saba?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Resolution 2020 what would be this one?
03, that's the one.
This will be 03. This is also a third reading. This resolution authorizing the mayor to take all necessary actions to accept the Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, NOPEC energized community grant and declaring an emergency. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
I
Sherry made a
second.
motion.
Just real quick, when you make a motion on this, make sure you say a motion to approve resolution, whatever the number was, 03.
Okay,
So I think Vince made the motion, just,
Motion to approve 03.
Just a second.
Second the motion, Sherry.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mr. Cronin?
Aye.
Ms. Mara?
Aye.
Dr. Sharma?
I,
Ms. Sharma?
Aye.
Saba? Ms. Saba?
Aye.
okay, thank you. Resolution D, 2020-03, third reading, a resolution authorizing the mayor to expend funds received from the Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, NOPEC, energized community grant and declaring an emergency.
That's 04.
It's 4, isn't it?
Go for it.
Mhm.
Sorry,
No, that's
2020-04. Do we have a motion on the,
Motion to approve 04.
motion approval 04 by Nancy Mara?
I second it. Thank you.
Perfect. Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mr. Cronin?
Aye.
Mrs. Mara?
Aye.
Dr. Sharma?
I,
Ms. Sharma?
Aye.
Ms. Saba?
Aye.
What C is which, what number is that?
I think,
Or we don't,
we'll wait for her. She usually gives it to us next.
Yeah, so the next ordinance is going to be ordinance 3, and the next resolution that you're going to do is resolution 5.
5, there you go.
okay. Resolution 2020-05. Rule suspended. A resolution amending the permanent appropriation funds for the Village of Timberlake, Ohio for the year 2020 and declaring an emergency. we have a
So
motion?
first, we need a motion to suspend the rule.
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
I second.
I second it. Okay.
Okay, great. Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Leba.
Aye.
And now a motion to approve the resolution.
I make a motion, Sherry, to approve 2020-05.
I just need a
I second.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Leba.
Aye.
Next one, 06.
Yeah, and you may want me to explain it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so go ahead and read that and then
All
you
right.
want to read it.
The next resolution is 2020-06. We're also going to suspend the rules on this one. This, and Joanne will explain why. A resolution establishing the 2902 COVID-19 Fund of Timberlake Village, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Sherry makes a motion to suspend 2020-06.
I second.
To approve 2020-06.
This is to suspend rules.
Just a motion to suspend the rule.
To suspend the rules.
I have a motion by Sherry and I have a second by Ms. Sharma. So I think we can go ahead and call this one. Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Leba.
Aye.
And now we just need a motion to approve Resolution 6.
I'll make a motion to
approve resolution 6. Sorry.
Okay,
No,
so
no worries.
we can have Mr. Cronin as the first and Ms. Seba as the second. Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma. Said
Aye.
There we go. Ms. Seba.
Aye.
Don't read it. So before we go on to the next one, the reason we created this special fund is so we can track the COVID-19 if we get any money in, so we can have it going in and out the expenses more clearly. I figured it was a better tracking record for even the public to understand going forward. That's the reason why I created this new fund, asked for this new fund to be created.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, okay. What's the next one, number?
3, I think.
Yeah, so the next one is your ordinance, and that's going to be ordinance 3.
That'll be ordinance 3?
Yeah.
Okay, ordinance 2020-03, we're going to suspend the rules to an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the Village of Timberlake to reaffirm their commitment with the Lake County Board of Commissioners to participate in the Urban Entitlement Community Development Block Grant, CDBG program for the utilization of funds made available by the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended and declaring an emergency. Okay, do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
I make a motion
A
to
second?
suspend the reading rule.
I second it.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma.
Aye.
Ms. Seba.
Aye.
I just need a motion to pass the ordinance.
I make a motion, Sherry, to approve 2020-03.
Okay, in a second,
I
I
second.
second.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Seba. Ms. Seba?
Aye.
Okay. Next ordinance is 04, I take it?
Yep.
Okay. Ordinance 2020-04, an ordinance appointing Richard G. Schilling as a special patrol officer with the Village of Timberlake Police Department and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules?
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
I second.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Seba.
Aye.
Now we just need a motion to approve ordinance number 2024.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2024.
In a second,
I second.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Seba.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance 2020-05. An ordinance appointing Jessica M. Page as Special Patrol Officer with the Village of Timberlake Police Department and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please?
I
I
make
make a motion to suspend the rule. Sorry, Vince.
Go ahead. You can do it.
Okay, we'll go ahead and put him as second. So Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Seba.
Aye.
I just need a motion to approve ordinance 2025.
I make a motion, Sherry, to approve ordinance 2020-05.
And a
I
second.
second it.
Perfect. Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Seba.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next ordinance will be ordinance 2020-06, an ordinance appointing Adam J. Nuns as a Special Patrol Officer with the Village of Timberlake Police Department and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules, please?
I make a motion.
I second it.
Great. Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Seba.
Aye.
Now we just need a motion to approve ordinance 2026.
He did not. I hid the bag and everything. I didn't let him come anywhere near it.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve 20-26.
Great. In a second.
I'll second.
Perfect. Ms. Seba,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Seba.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, we'll get to the reports. First will be mayor's report. As you know, we had to trim a lot from last year to this year's budget because of loss of revenue, because of retiring people moving out, or retiring, and also loss of revenue from income tax and so forth. But we also had to take a big cut. Was it 30%, I believe, for
Approximately 30% in income tax for this year in revenue collections.
so we can expect that. So Joanne had put out a revised budget, and basically she also projected if we don't, pretty much if we're on course the way we are now, by the time we hit 2025, we'll be $74,000 in the hole. And that's running on a very, very tight budget that we're running on now. And which really doesn't leave us much room for improvements, for repairs, for any type of an emergency either. So, we're gonna have to try to look around. Like I said, hopefully this income tax will pass. We get this increase this way, we can bring that revenue in, and then we'll be able to do more things with it. But looking through the budget numbers, though, pretty much our police department was right on target, right on budget. Good job there, Vince. Zoning was right on. we had, the trees were way down, but that'll come up again. Nancy will give us a report on the trees. We have the storm sewers again. We've had a couple problems with storm sewers, but we were able to address them in-house. We just cleaned out the catch basins ourselves. Most of the lines are open. The problem is that, again, they're very, very under capacity. So I'm talking with the engineer about doing some upgrades. There's got to be some, we're going to look at some options that we can do, and also some replacing some catch basins and rebuilding some other catch basins. So we're looking at those options. The other part that's up is on the general fund. It's just a lot of it's a carryovers from the year before, the auditors' reports, and some of the stuff is that we had to pay some of the stuff in advance, like our insurance and so forth. But pretty much, we're pretty much on budget, so which is a good thing. So no complaints there. The other thing is, let's see. No. Well, that's again, the only other thing is we did have to do some service repair to our loader, and that wasn't much. Thanks to Vince, we were able to get a good deal on the labor rates and again, get that repaired because the pedals got stuck again, but that'll be operational. We're going to go around cleaning up. We had a lot of the trees cut down, some trees and a lot of stumps ground. So we're going to clean up all the mess from the stumps now that we have our loader fixed. But that's all I have for there. Now, Joanne, solicitor's report, please.
Solicitor. Jeremy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeremy. Solicitor's report.
Forgot to unmute myself. So I have nothing to report other than I did just check the stream and there are 4 people watching the meeting right now. So I'll go double check and see how many other people are watching. But I have nothing else to report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Now the fiscal officer.
So at our June meeting next month, on the June 16th, we are going to have a public hearing for the preliminary 2021 budget that we have to submit to the county auditors. We have to have it in place before July 20th. And so I always try to do it in June. That way we get it done out of the way going forward. Another item, like the mayor said, is our expenditures. So to date, the due to prior administration, but our late fees, penalties, auditors' costs came to a total of $21,124.58. And there's still more coming in when the audit's complete. Normally, our estimated audit cost is about $7,000. So if you take the $7,000 off that $21,124.58, it comes down to $14,124.58 in additional cost. And also, when you're looking at the worksheets, if you're looking at mine, under the fiscal officer, the reason it's up so high is we actually had to pay out $4,219 to the IRS for 2018 employee withholding taxes that were not submitted to them. So that's what pushes my budget way up. So that's why I wanted to make sure everybody's aware of some of our expenditures. I've been asked several times where it is. Once the audit's done, that'll become public record to everybody on there.
Okay.
Another item, so if you're looking at the reports online in the UAN and wondering why, if you're looking at the fund summary, our actual expenditures for April was $27,259.20 is the total expenditures when you're looking at the fund summary report from UAN. It does say $70,492.63 in the general fund. That is because I took the money out of the general fund and put it into the paving improvement debt service that the resolution was approved at the beginning of the year, and that bill is coming due. So it looks a little off in the UAM, but that's the way they show it off as an expenditure going out in there. So I want to make sure everybody knew when they were looking at it. That's why it's the way it is.
Okay.
And then just one other thing, Mayor, I won't be at the July meeting if you have a July meeting. I got vacation planned with my family.
Okay. All right. Will you be able to do Zoom or?
Well, we'll see what it
We'll
is.
see what happens. Yeah. All right.
Does she want to do Zoom on a vacation?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, we
thank
don't
you.
know if it's in place, but right now we're hoping it's still going forward.
Right.
All right. Thank you. Chief Tryon, please. Report.
There isn't much to report. For some reason, my password locked me out of my county records, so I couldn't get in to get our normal monthly report. But once I have IT get me back in, I'll get it over to Sunny so she can publish it.
Okay. Okay, Vince with safety. Vince, report.
Well, I pretty much got nothing. I would like to say that I think the police department is doing a great job. Again, especially with the times we're going through right now. I think they're doing good as far as being more reactive than proactive out in the general public, but being very reactive around here. The only one question I would have is, I know I sent everybody an email a few weeks ago. I was talking with Sergeant Caspi from the police department, and he had made mention to me that a lot of the villages around here are closed. They've already acknowledged they're closing their pools for the year. Eastlake, Willowick, and I believe Wickliffe. I don't know what Willoughby's status is on that. That once the weather breaks, we could have a very large influx of people trying to get down to the beach to get close to water. So again, I know I sent you guys an email looking for suggestions, short of, I mean, I know we're on a tight budget, short of bringing all sorts of officers in to stand at the gate and, turn people away or identify people before they can go down. I think that we owe it to the residents to take more of a proactive response on the beach issue than a reactive response and wait until it becomes a problem and they start calling the police department. So if anybody has suggestions, I would be more than willing to listen to that. I know this weekend's going to be nice. Like I said, fortunately, we've had really bad weather, so it hasn't been an issue. This weekend's supposed to be nice. It may happen, it may not. But to play the devil's advocate, I would think that it's probably going to happen, that a lot of people are going to try and sneak down here just to get close to some water, go swimming, do something. So again, if any of you have suggestions, please let me know. Collectively, we can probably come up with a really good solution to figure that out. So we can keep the residents happy and, kind of, prevent a problem from happening before it even begins. That's the only thing I've got.
Okay, thank you, Vince. Kim?
I don't have anything to report for finance or public records retention at this point, but I know that you all received the letter that Jeremy and I had been working on in regards to letting people know in the village. I guess you won't be able to see it with background for the actual ordinances and amending them and the reminders of the ordinances. So we know that that letter has gone out. I guess my question to any of you is, have you heard any feedback at this point?
Fish, really, really good for you.
Yes, I've heard good and bad. People knock on our doors all the time. People call us all the time. People are nervous, but I let them know this general letter went out to everybody. No one has a violation as of yet. It's just to let people know, that's just how I explain myself, is that we are going to be just upholding what people told us when we were actually campaigning, that they wanted us to clean up the village. I would say after one every 3 house when we were campaigning, they said, can you do something about this or this, meaning the cleaning up of the village. So I explained to people this village letter went out to everybody. And, we take it from there. And, Kim, as you know, you'll probably explain later, this is not the end all. It's let's work together all.
Yeah, it's just a beginning. We need to make an effort as a community. What can we do to help our neighbors? We always talk about it. Now's the time to do it. So, how can we help everyone in the village become more compliant? If everybody actually became more compliant with just the 14 things that are on that list, we'd barely have any complaints at all. So again, it's 14 things, and it doesn't matter where you live, you have rules. It doesn't matter every time you get in your car and go down the road, you have a speed limit to follow, and the consequences if you exceed that speed limit. This is no different. So with that being said, I also have a letter that I sent out to all of council today that is the complaint form. So hopefully you are all able to read this. We'd like Sunny to make sure that it makes it into the minutes and also make sure that this letter and the complaint form to the residents goes in the Timberlake Times and posted on the website. So again, we want that paper trail in regards to people that have the complaints and concerns, and we can go from there. Is there anything, Jeremy, you think we should touch base on with that before I pass this on?
The only other thing I would say is that we've had a meeting, and we'll have several other meetings with myself and Kim and Gary and Steve and Vince to discuss the enforcement end of these things. Because obviously having ordinances and having them done the proper way and all that kind of stuff is good. But we need to make sure we have something on the enforcement end and that we're all working together. And I think the letter made it clear too, that it's not just us enforcing things, it's everybody in the community doing what they need to do as well. And then we put together that complaint form, which will be accessible to everybody on the website and anywhere else that they can get it, so that we can have a process and process and a paper trail. So everybody knows, I have a problem, I do this, these are the steps, and then should make it a little more efficient and sustainable to accomplish.
Yep. Paper trail starts with if someone does fill out the complaint form, right, Kim?
What's that?
The paper trail begins if somebody fills out a complaint form and they sign it and bring it up to the hall, or?
Correct.
You want to address that later?
Yeah, they can drop it off at the mailbox at Village Hall, the black mailbox by the door. They can hand deliver it. They can put postage on it. However they want to deliver this, they can get it to a council member. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to just be the mayor. They can give it to any one of us. And then you guys just need to make sure that the information gets passed along to me.
And I think eventually we'll try to make sure we have a mechanism where it can be submitted on the website or something like that too. So there's any number of ways people can get it in, and we'll make sure that all is spelled out with the procedure.
Well, I would like to say, I think, Kim, you did a great job on this.
Thanks.
I read the letter, or I read the form that you filled out. I think it's a really good format. And I really do think it'll alleviate a lot of what could potentially be construed as neighbor complaints, where people want to complain about their neighbors and they do it in different ways. And if there's a real problem that needs to be brought to light, I think it'll be brought to light. So I commend you for that. You did a good job.
Thanks. Not without Jeremy's help.
Jeremy, you did a good job too.
I'm just here to help. Kim's doing most of the heavy lifting.
Oh, okay. It's coming.
Okay, well, thank you, Kim.
Yep.
All right, Sherry, do you have an update on the Village Hall, please?
Well, due to coronavirus, there's not very many rentals. We have had some cancellations, and we've had some people reschedule, and we still have some coming in, some reservations coming in. So moving along as best as we can. That's about it.
Okay, thank you, Sherry. All right, Nancy, give us an update on the trees
Okay.
and environment.
The 4 trees we have taken down, village trees, of course. We make sure they're village trees. In the past, sometimes trees were other people's trees, but these were village trees. We've had 10 trees, limbs pruned and trimmed. We've had 12 stumps ground out. Of course, we had 3 quotes from 9,000, 6,000 down to 3,850, thanks to the mayor getting those quotes down. That was phase 1, for this were most needed. And phase 2, we're getting a group of trees accumulated now to go through a phase 2. Hopefully from mid to end summer, we get that more money allotted and allotted for phase 2. And that's what we can do for now with the budget that we have. And everybody seems to be very understanding with the budget that we have and what we have done so far. I've had nothing but, thank you for trying, or thank you for doing. So I think the village has been very understanding.
Okay, thank you. All right, Dr. Sharma, update on grants, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening and welcome, everyone. So I was given 2 recommendations for grants. One was by Chief for Coronavirus Emergency Supplemental Funding Program solicitation. There was 2020 formula grant solicitation. Another one was by the Mayor for COVID-19 supplies grant. Unfortunately, for emergency grant, we were not eligible as we are not part of the Justice Assistance Grant. So that's what I have to report. And I have been looking, and again, I would like to invite the residents as well as the council to collaborate, and anybody gets to know anything, pretty please pass along the information so that I can work on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for checking in there for us also, even though it wasn't, couldn't get the money. I mean, mostly everything is on hold right now because of the corona, but you think we at least get some of that funding available. Okay, Shannon, can we get an update on the sewers, please?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. So we had a lot of rain a couple of days ago, and I definitely got a bunch of calls from the neighbors. I did drive around 6 o'clock to throughout the village, and we of course had some flooding areas, but honestly by 9 o'clock there was not a drop of water. So a lot of this stuff, it's like you mentioned earlier, people are, it's just taking a lot of time for the rain to go down our really tiny sewers, but they are doing it. They're doing their job. And I haven't seen any kind of complaints besides the rain this whole month. There was one complaint from someone about their sewers, and they thought that it was kind of backing up in their toilets, but I think you had already talked to them, Mayor.
Yeah, I did. I talked to them and it was on their end. They had to snake it out. They had a lot of roots inside their pipes. This time of year, the maple trees, the roots are really spreading into the sewers right now. So they were able to get that opened up and it was on their side, but that's taken care of. But yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Okay.
You know what, Mayor, can I interrupt you? Can I say something about sewers? You know, I mean, Shannon, you're doing a great job. You really are. When it comes to the rain like we had last weekend, I think a lot of times these residents just need to understand that this village was built a long time ago. These sewers are small. You know, at some point in time, you have to take a little bit of responsibility for your own property. You know, for instance, me and my neighbors, I have 3 neighbors around me. Mayor, you drove through last weekend. We have a very low spot where I live. We were actually out there in our wader boots. We were cleaning stuff off the drain because when the rain builds up, the sewers can only take so much. And there's no sense cleaning the drain because it's all water because everything flows to the top. Once it starts getting down, if you pull the stuff off with a rake or whatever you use, eventually it's going to go down. I mean, I don't want to say that it's the residents' responsibility. However, at some point in time, the residents need to take a little bit of responsibility for the fact that we have bad sewers. None of us are responsible for that. That's the way the village was made. We're not going to be able to get anything bigger anytime soon because it's going to cost too much money. We have no tax base other than what the residents want to pay. You know, spend 10 minutes, go out there, make sure your sewer grates are cleaned, make sure you have a good path to the sewer, and anything beyond that, give us a call. But if you do that, I think a lot of the stuff's just going to go down. And yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time. But after the rain last weekend, again, Mayor, you were down by me. We closed the road. It was so bad. I had water halfway up my driveway. Once it stopped raining, within 15 minutes, once the drains caught up, the water was gone. Right. Me and my neighbors, we had the 5 drains around us and we kept them clean. It took us 20 minutes and the water was all gone. Mm-hmm. And I think if people maybe start taking that approach that, hey, you know, we got to help out a little bit. Either we're going to pay to get it done or we have to devote a little bit of time and help out and do something. You know, maybe that might, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe that might, you know, make a little bit of a difference.
Oh, it will. It all helps. And like I said, we have our service guys went around and they pretty much know where all the catch basins, where the trouble ones are. So they pretty much will keep them open also, put up barricades where they need to, take them down. But, you know, it's something that we're going to have to live with. And again, each storm is going to be different. Each rain event will be different. You're going to have floods in different areas, different times and so forth. But that's just going to be the nature unless we get $6 million to upgrade our sewer system. We're just going to have to deal with it. So
Oh,
right.
exactly. You know what? Honestly, with a storm like we had last week, or last week, it's unfair to call Shannon because it's not. I mean, that's nothing that she can control. She can't control
I
that.
think,
People need to understand.
and
If
it's
it
so
rains too
funny.
much and heavy, there's nothing she can do. I mean, the drains are only so
Yeah.
big. Leave her alone.
Yeah, well, the funny part is, I think a lot of the times the people call me and I'm like, you're talking about the rain that's happening right now. Like, I really can't do a dance and make it stop raining. But I think a lot of the times the residents just want to be heard and they just want to know that, okay, you're having an issue, but I promise by the time the rain is over, it'll be all better. But yeah,
I want
this is all just part of the job.
And that's a good approach to take. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you gotta, it only happens a few times every now and then, but when it does, it's bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on now to purchases and approvals. We need a motion to approve the March and April 2020 financial reports.
Sherry makes a motion to approve.
Nancy makes a motion to approve.
Second.
Second the motion to approve.
Okay, perfect. Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Seba.
Aye.
Okay. The next one will be, again, this is up to you guys if you want to approve it or not, but a motion to approve to pay council for April due to the council meeting being canceled because of the COVID-19.
Sherry makes a motion to approve.
I second it.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Mrs. Mara.
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Seba.
No.
Okay, thank you. And we need a motion to appoint the mayor as delegate and fiscal officer as alternate delegate to the Regional Council of Government, RETA. Pardon?
Does it need to be explained?
Yeah, you want to,
So let me explain it. What it is Matt, when we go over to Rita, they have a council of government and one representative from our government sits on the, kind of represents our community for going forward on, they meet once a year to discuss the new company, businesses or whatever came in. Bill just came in. So everybody's on board on what's going on with Rita with our income taxes.
okay.
They'll be coming in, right? Okay, never mind, go ahead.
So, yeah, so do we have a motion to approve then?
I make a motion to approve it.
Do we have a second?
Sherry seconds the motion to approve.
Wait, Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Seba.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The only other thing I want to add before we open up the public questions is that the situation we have going down to the beach with the gate, it's something I looked into and I got a company to come out that we can repair that gate that we have now, straighten out the post and add on to the top of it so that we can leave the same type of lock there where it locks from the outside. So it'll be, you can open it from the inside, but we're going to add 18 inches onto the top of that gate and taper it down on both sides so that no one can reach around and grab it. I got a total cost of $460 to do that, which I thought was very reasonable. And actually, I was going to donate that anyway to the village myself, because we need to get this beach secured somehow. And what we're going to do is we'll get a key made for everyone, just distribute them, and just be like an old-fashioned key. Not going to worry about cards and this and all that. And if someone loses it, well, we'll just charge them a minimal fee to replace it or something. But it's something, I think it's inexpensive, and we can try it out, see how it goes. And, because we have to do something to secure that beach so that we don't have people just walking in there. And then again, if we see someone trying to jump the fence or whatever, it's obvious, then, we have our police looking out, we can go after them. So just a note on that's something I'm looking into to help secure this right away. Before, like I said, before we run into problems this summer like we did last summer. Now I want to open up for any public comments and questions. We do have a couple people here. Yes?
Nancy Stallman from 100 East Shore. Last summer I had a tree taken down at the end of my driveway, and it was on village property and it was rotted, whatever, but the stump's still there. And so now I just heard you say that everybody else is getting their stumps taken out. And I understand that you don't have any money, and that's fine. I'm willing to pay for it myself because it's right at the end of my driveway. It looks like it doesn't look very good. But if you get some kind of rate or something from whatever company you have, I'd like to, if I can pay for it myself, then I will. And then my other question is, can we plant trees on the village property? That is the village property on my house, because I'd like to replace the tree that came down.
You're at 100 East Shore, you said? About the replanting of the trees. What's the question?
As far as the stump, we can, I'm gonna have a phase 2 going out. So when we get that, I'll make sure I include that one on that phase 2, and we'll work it out that way. And as far as planting trees, we have to just put the tree commission back together again. But depending on the type of tree, but we'll look into that for you.
Because there's been so many trees taken down off of everybody's property. Just my opinion was it was all the salt that they used to use that just destroyed the last couple of years, because these trees just the last couple of years have been destroyed from, and I think it's from the salt, but that's just my opinion. But I also have another thing. You're talking about people sending letters to complain about their neighbors. I don't understand that. She was saying, if you don't like something, you don't like what they're doing on their property, or you're going to have neighbors complaining, sending out letters and complaining about other people's property.
Kim, can you hear?
Yes,
You want me to address it, or do you want to address it?
I can address it. So
Okay.
the complaint form,
Can you, excuse me, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
okay, so the complaint form is just that, versus neighbor pitting against neighbor. I mean, this will start the paper trail, but let's say you have a dangerous tree or something of that sort. So you don't have to confront your neighbor. You can fill this information out and get it to us that way. So this way it will be kept discreet. It gives us an opportunity to address issues that maybe we wouldn't see otherwise, and we can move forward in that direction. These aren't meant to be malicious and cause a fight. So again, these are information that someone can pass along. If you see something, if it's a shed that's caving in, or if it's a tree issue, or if it's, garbage cans on the front porch, it doesn't matter what violation it might be. These are not meant to cause a problem. They're part of a solution. Does that help clarify?
Okay, because last year I was on the committee that we were looking at all the ordinances and we were going through them. And part of the problem was the enforcement, and like, for example, the garbage cans. The way that everybody's property is, it could be in somebody's front yard, but it's really their side yard, but I'm looking at it. And so there was a big problem with dealing with the garbage cans because you can't because of the way that the properties are in here. And then, I guess I have a problem with this person complains that they don't like firewood in their yard, but then they go down the street and the other person has firewood in their yard. So who's to, and their neighbors don't complain about them. So then what do you do?
It's not going to be just based on neighborhood complaints. These items that you are talking about, they will be addressed. The garbage can situation will be addressed. And if it's a situation, it may have to be addressed for the corner properties on a case-by-case basis, but they will be out of sight from the street. They will be worked through. Same with these.
I live at 100 East Shore. And
Again?
I don't know if anybody knows where that is. That's the last house on East Shore. And what I have to look at every day across the street, I'm not going to make a complaint. I mean, if you can't see, if nobody
So
can see,
this is what I'm getting at. We are going to go around to each individual piece of property in this village and assess the ordinance violations, okay? The wood piles, everything will have to be compliant. If it's a 3x3x3 and that's where it's stacked and it's seasonal, it's going to change. So again, it's because
enforcement on those
it's not going, let me finish. You know what? You need to let me finish also. So the point being is that each resident in this village is going to be responsible to become compliant. So there will be no playing favorites. There will be no diversions. We are going to follow the ordinances.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, this process didn't happen overnight. It's not going to get fixed overnight. We are revamping. We are going through the ordinances. We will make sure that they are, what's the word I'm looking for, Jeremy?
Make sure that they are properly written and properly enforced, and the complaint procedure is just one mechanism to do that. We're going to be monitoring it ourselves to take care of violations, and the complaints are just for ordinance violations. It's not to complain about not liking the way somebody's yard is decorated. It's to, if there's an ordinance violation, it's just another mechanism to allow us to find that and enforce that.
Okay.
Okay, are you giving them warnings, or because when we were doing
There is a process. There is a process, and there's a legal process that we are bound by. So it's not, again, it's not a overnight process. There will be an actual process for the violations, but these are also our neighbors too. So we are willing to work with someone that's willing to work on their home. I mean, and I guess I didn't want to get this deep into this tonight, but we can. You know, my husband and I bought 11 Owasso Drive, and it took us 3 years to find a contractor to side our house and redo the design that we wanted. Okay. So we had multiple contractors out with multiple prices, from $100,000 to, it was crazy to find that right contractor. But if somebody is actually working on that and they're making those efforts, the village is going to work with them.
Okay.
Okay.
You just want communication between, if someone gets an infraction, you just want communication between between you and the person that you gave the violation to, correct?
I couldn't hear that, Nancy. I'm sorry.
Once a person has been well, like you said, this is the first letter, but once a person's been handed an infraction or violation letter, you just want communication with them that they have a violation, and you're going to work with them either way to clean it up.
Correct.
It's not going to be an end goal. It's a process to begin cleaning up whatever the complaint was.
That is correct.
This is going to be a process. This is going to be a long process.
It depends on how much cooperation we get from our neighbors. And you know, this isn't taking away from anyone. This is giving something back to this village in the way of property values. So that's another way to think of it in a positive light. And that's not bad for anyone.
You have to take into consideration, you're asking people to do something and to possibly tear down their shed and make a new shed. Well, if you're on a limited income, or maybe you lost your job in this thing, this isn't going to happen. And you're going to get people that are going to be angry at this process They're gonna get angry at you because you just moved here and now you're telling them that you want to change it because you can afford to have $100,000 renewal of your home.
Well, I didn't spend that much on the house. And that also is a process. And then the point of this is that these ordinances have been on the books for years. This isn't anything new. It's just
No,
been
I know.
allowed.
I was on the committee for a year, so I know.
And I've enforced these in a lot of communities, and we always work with people. And the vast majority of the time, they get a warning letter. We talk to them about it. We figure out what's going on. We get something taken care of. It's pretty rare that, and I have in my life and have some going on now where we've had to prosecute people, but the vast majority of the time it's letter, we talk, we get things straightened out. And if there's, some reason behind why something can't get done or can't get done quickly, we can talk and work through with people and get things taken care of. The vast majority of the time it's the communication and getting it taken care of instead of everybody just stewing over what's going on down the street. They're not doing anything about it. Village isn't doing anything about it. The person is. That we can have a conversation, figure out if something can and will be done. And we usually work with people, and usually they don't get to any means of having to go through prosecution or something like that. The times where we've done anything like that, something major, and it's somebody who's purposely trying to not fix what they have or do what they have. If it's somebody that we can work with, we can work with it. We're not looking to bind anybody up. We're just trying to make sure that ordinances are followed. And this is pretty typical in most communities. So it's nothing specific to here.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Yes, sir.
I've been here 43 years. And when I moved into this village, it was immaculate. You don't buy property that you can't upkeep. And if it's going to deteriorate, it's your business to bring it up to par. I never seen this village so bad. We got grass in the front. Everybody's house has grass. They're cutting in parking lots, putting gravel down or wood chips, and they're parking off the street, but on their front yard. I got boats, 40-foot boats in the driveways, campers. I mean, what is this? We are not keeping up on this stuff. It's been neglected. That's what it has. The last two mayors, John, have done nothing. We got to get this place back on its 2 feet. I'm telling you, it's just terrible. Boats everywhere, campers. It was a 40-foot camper in a driveway down onto Shawandasi. You know what? This is I go to East Lake and it looks nice.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be, the dregs of the area.
What is your name again? Sorry.
Mr.
Dragus. What's your address?
8.
8.
Minnewawa.
When we moved in, a committee came on our door and sat down and told us the do's and don'ts, what they'll tolerate and what they won't tolerate. And they held to it. And over the years, it's been la-di-da, lackadaisical. So I don't know, John, you got,
So you two,
you got some good people now behind you. And if they do their jobs, maybe we could bring this place back. But I questioned a few properties. Is it just what you were not allowed, to rent out your upstairs to anybody? It had to be family. I don't know. I see a couple properties. I wonder if it's all family or not.
Okay.
And we totally understand. That's why Kim and Jeremy, created the letter. And, like Kim said, it didn't happen overnight. It's not going to get corrected overnight, but we are.
When I got that letter, I thought Christmas came early. It was just, I'm glad to see that you people are aware that everything is not hunky-dory in this village. Like I said, I could go to East Lake and find nicer looking properties. And that was the drag of the area.
Well, it's been a long winter and we've had a lot of complaints. And that's one of the reasons why, when Kim stepped up to be on council, she knew that, we didn't have the money to pay an ordinance person. We used to have an ordinance person's paid position, but she's doing it on the minimal pay that you get for council. And she's getting a lot of headache for it. But we had over the winter, we got a lot of phone calls. What are you gonna do about this? What are you gonna do about this? So she's willing to put her neck out there, but it won't happen overnight. But, you know, you have two opinions here and I get your opinion and I get your opinion. So, you know, you're right. Both of you are right. Things aren't gonna, it's offensive to somebody, and in other ways, other people want to see things cleaned up. So hopefully we get to work together and, you know, really work together, not just BS together. I mean, really work together to get.
The only reason I came tonight is because I know this council now will do things. But the guidance in the last couple, not good. Not good. And I thank you all.
Thank you.
Well, you know,
Thank you
it's
both for
not a
coming.
disaster yet, but it can be. Cancer spreads, and there's a few spots out there that need to be taken care of.
Okay.
And that's why I put a sign in my yard for you.
All right, well, thank you for your comments and your,
Your next reelection, it'll be the big one. It'll light up.
Maybe.
And we'll serve coffee.
They're either gonna love you or hate you, so we'll see.
I've been here 43 years. I've seen the changes and I don't like, what I'm looking at now. I know you guys will take care of it and I'm not looking for it to be overnight, but we have to start somewhere. And as long as there's a start, the race starts and you cross the starting line, I know things will happen.
okay, well, thank you.
Take care.
Any more questions?
Hopefully the camera to pick that up.
Okay, Jeremy, anything else in closing?
No, that's all I have.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn, please?
Sherry makes a
I make a motion.
Okay, we'll have a first and second there. Ms. Falkenberg, Mr. Cronin,
Aye.
Mrs. Mara,
Aye.
Dr. Sharma,
Aye.
Ms.
Aye.
Sharma,
Aye.
Ms. Seba.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, our next council meeting will be June 16th at 7:30. Until then, have a good evening. Thank you, and be safe.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank
Meeting
you.
adjourned. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Hey, Mayor, before you sign off, I got a question for you.
Are we still
Yes.
streaming, Jeremy?
We can still stream.
Jeremy, are we?
I'll stop we are, but I can stop it.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. It's a legitimate question.
No, that's the way it's been.
Okay.
Let me end it.